Good afternoon, magic players and card collectors of all kinds. Welcome back to the channel for today's random Saturday video. Not going to be much of a random one today, unfortunately, because I did kind of spoil it yesterday in the video where I was testing my setup out. Um, so you guys already know we are doing an Outlaws at Thunder Junction pre-release kit today. Um, It's one of the hat sets. Uh, the hat set's got a lot of hate in the Magic the Gathering community. A lot of understandable hate because it just really was not good lore or any effort really at all put into the storyline as far as I'm concerned. And the whole thing with loot is just so bad. I mean, some people really like the loot guy, don't get me wrong, and props to you if you're on the loot train, but I think they went a little too far. They basically made a Pokemon essentially for Magic, and that kind of yeah. Anyways, with all that said, I do know there's a lot of really cool game mechanic cards in here. Um I have built a sacrifice deck around, I'm assuming this is Rakdos the Muscle over here, based on the shadow. Um, and I actually really have a lot of fun playing my Rakdos the Muscle deck, so that is part of the reason why I bought this. The other reason was it was on sale, and so yeah, I figured we might pull some really neat stuff, some vampires or some things like that to put into our decks. And otherwise, hopefully, we just have some fun. We got the Kaiba Cam over here. Uh, can I get my finger in front of it? No. He's chilling out over in the sun. He's not overly happy with me because I had to go out this morning. If you saw yesterday's video, you know that I was having audio problems, so I went out and got a nice microphone today for our live stream tonight. Um, I boosted the audio on it because I don't know if it's my laptop that just doesn't have a very good speaker output or whether it is somehow the quality of like my speech into the microphone, whether it's just not picking up my voice loud enough. But I really found that what was I going with? I mean, yesterday's audio was atrocious, don't get me wrong. And today when I tried to do a few test recordings, I found that they were all really, really quiet. Um, So I've boosted the audio by a few decibels. I'm going to put a warning in the comment just in case for your hearing. And if I find that the video after I publish it today on YouTube is just way too loud, I'll bring that decibel back down for the live stream tonight. Um, Looking forward to seeing you all in the live stream tonight. Hopefully we have some fun chat. Get a little bit of Q&A going and open some fun old school packs and hang out with the pug, eat some pizza, all that good stuff. I haven't decided where I'm going to order from yet. I'm debating Pizza Hut, I'm debating Domino's. I haven't had it in a long time, but Papa John's is also a possibility. I know a lot of these are like trash pizzas, don't get me wrong, but I've been eating a lot of hole in the wall pizza lately, and while I enjoy it and I love supporting local, um, tonight I just wanted to have something like simple, something that has a nice hearty taste to it per se, and something that I'm sure will get here in a timely fashion per se, and that I don't have to go pick up myself. So overall, probably going with like a Domino's or something like that, but we'll see tonight, and we'll let you know when we get the stream going. In the meantime, uh, going to just get started on this kit, I guess. I don't really know what else to say. Have a quick sip of Coke first. All right. Let's take a moment and just appreciate the artwork on this box. Wizards did definitely like try to push this set, and I mean they definitely put the effort into some areas, but the rest of those areas were pretty bad. I like this on the inside. Reward 9,000 or 900,000 something for Oko. Interesting. Anybody else wanted posters in here? Ooh, there are a couple others. There's TJ Tutelman's Wonder Elixir. And if you look just inside there, you can actually see Thunder in the Streets, the Prosperity Post. Sterling Company office burglarized, violence erupts. Stagecoach attacked, courier killed, mysterious cargo stolen. Interesting. Very cool. Set that aside over here for now. The box, of course, has the same artwork as the outside box, which is typical of these kits. To be honest, I wish sometimes the inside art was actually on the outside of these as well. Those newspaper articles look really cool, actually. Um, but yeah, we got ourselves, of course, our spin down. Appreciate the spin down. We got a little cowboy hat for the 20, of course. Anything for the 1? No. Not my favorite spin down, but it's okay, I suppose. And we got ourselves our little sheet of artwork. Ooh, that's pretty. Like that. Like that a lot, actually. Tiny Bones is so cute. And just an explanation of how to build a pre-release deck. Always good to, help out new players with that. I went with Jace because Jace, if I remember correctly, is who Oko is ultimately, which is kind of silly, but whatever. Ooh, there's an arena code for this one. Actually, that's something I might do tonight too. I might give out some arena codes. I have a bunch of them, and I've been meaning to do that for you guys in like a video. But the thing I've been wondering is if I put them out on a video, how will I make sure that the right people get it? And then I thought about doing when I make my Discord server, I'd put them out there. But then the question about that is, when will I make my Discord server? One, if I'm going to, which I do plan to. It's just so many things going on right now in life, with regards to the new job, with regards to I just invested a shitload of money into this setup. Um, so just the idea of trying to invest in anything else right now is not on my horizon in terms of time or finances. I just kind of want to take a moment and just appreciate what I have, sort of like thing. I've got enough packs and stuff to open for a while, so I don't have to go out and buy any magic per se. At least not until what's that new set called? Edges Edges of Eternity or something like that, I think it is. I am actually going to buy some packs of that for sure, at least for new set versus old set, if nothing else. But I mean that set looks not too bad. The new rules change that just came out, I'll talk about that too today. Maybe during live stream, maybe I'll do it during this video, but either way, I'm not sure how I feel about that. But it'll be interesting for sure. We'll see how much they've done that just to affect that specific set versus whether that impacts a lot of other cool stuff and see what moves the needle sort of like thing from there. Um, but yeah, let's crack open some Outlaws at Thunder Junction and see what we get. I like that they have this little rip tab here, but it doesn't really seem to work very often for me. Oh, there we go. Yeah, see? Yeah, rashy way to open packs. I prefer ripping them open the classic way. We got ourselves a Scorpion Dragon. Nice. Actually, I needed that token for the one card in my sacrifice deck. So good to have a token of that. What is this? Oh, it's just some artwork. Okay. I thought that was actually going to be something neat for like another card insert or something. All right, we got a trick shot to start us off. See if we can get that. Deals 6 damage to target creature, 2 damage. Oop, damn microphone. Hopefully that didn't make too much noise when I bumped it. 2 damage to up to one other target creature. Everything is like really tight in here. Bristlepack Sentry. I'm gonna put you as a. Well, you are an instant, but you cost 5, so you're gonna go mid. Let's go. We'll put the garbage over there on the floor because we don't need it. On the table. We'll go top, mid, bottom. We'll put lands over here. We'll put legendaries over here. All good times. All right. Bristlepack Sentry, Defender, Plant Wolf. Ooh, Wolf, I'll take that. As long as you control a creature with power 4 or greater, this thing can attack as though it didn't have Defender. I mean, I just finished fixing my werewolf deck, but that could easily replace one of the lower tier wolves in it. Not bad. I'll put you top. Overzealous Muscle. Ogre Mercenary. 5/4 for 5. Whenever you commit a crime during your turn, this thing gains indestructible until end turn. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. Okay, microphone, you're going to have to go back ever so slightly because I'm going to keep hitting you with my hand every time I try to reach around. I'm going to put you top. Phantom Interference. Spree. Sprees are always fun. That was actually one of the cool mechanics in this set. Pay blue and 3 to create a 2/2 spirit creature token with flying, or you can also counter target spell unless controller pays 2. Nice. The only thing I didn't like about Spree is you can only pay the additional cost once. It'd be cool if you could pay the counter spell cost, say 3 times, to make sure that they have to pay 6, so that they can't counter your counter. But still, at instant speed, that's pretty solid. I can't complain about that. Too much, at least. Mystical Tether. You can cast this as though it had flash, but you have to pay 2 more, so it becomes a 5 cost. When it enters the battlefield, exile target artifact or creature an opponent controls until this thing leaves the battlefield. Yeah, there's a lot of those. It goes mid. Rodeo Pyromancers. 4/4/3/4. Whenever you cast your first spell, you get to add 2 red. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. That'd be good in a Spellslinger deck, actually. Brimstone Roundup. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, create a 1/1 red mercenary creature token with target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn when you tap this thing. And you can plot this enchantment instead of paying its regular cost, which means you get to exile it from your hand and cast it as a sorcery on a later turn without paying its mana cost. Now, why you would want to pay an extra 1 mana just to plot this thing? I mean, unless you're actually running a deck that specifically benefits from plot, I don't think that's going to be worth it. So I'm going to mid that. Nice! We got our first legendary, and it's a zombie. Always fun to pull zombies. Chrome? Violent Cacophony. Flying, whenever you cast your second spell each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this thing and draw a card. Nice. Now that is definitely going in my Spellslinger deck. Because that will trigger well with, oh, what's that damn dragon called that everybody loves? And by everybody loves, I mean everybody absolutely despises it. I keep thinking Narset, but I know it's not Narset. Narset's the actual commander of my deck that I'm thinking of. Uh, Nimizet. Nimizet. That's who I'm thinking of. Caught in the Crossfire. Okay, this is another spree one. Cost 2/+1 to Caught in the Crossfire deals 2 damage to each outlaw creature. Interesting. Or you can pay the 1 and Caught in Crossfire deals 2 damage to each non-outlaw creature. Nice. I'm okay with that, actually. It's very versatile. Could be very useful if you're playing against somebody who has a lot of outlaws. Another legendary! Nice. Miriam Herd Whisperer. As long as it's your turn, mounts and vehicles you control have hexproof. Whenever a mount or a vehicle you control attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Interesting. I'm not a huge fan of vehicles or mounts right now, but I mean, that could be a card that would get me into playing them. I would need to get it to pair with something else, though, because that's too limited a pool of colors. Black needs to go in there, too, somehow, some way. Colossal Rattleworm. Has flash as long as you control a desert. Trample 6/5 for 4. Not bad. Pay 1 and a green, exile this thing from your graveyard, search your library for a desert, put it on the battlefield, tapped and shuffle. Yeah, okay. All in all, can't complain about that. Heartless Pillage. 2 and a black. Target opponent discards 2 cards. Raid if you attack this turn, create a treasure token. Solid pull. Definitely very, very useful. Outlaw's Fury. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. If you control an outlaw, exile the top card of your library. I don't really like Impulse Draw. It's not my favorite thing, so I'm going to mid that. And we got one of those pain lands. Eroded thing enters the battlefield tapped. Enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to target. Oh, it deals. Ooh, this is cool. I haven't pulled one of these yet. So first off, it's a desert. Second off, it taps for 2 different colors. And third off, when it enters the battlefield, I get to pick somebody and ping them for 1. That's cool. Very nice. 1 pack down. 5 packs to go. There goes the microphone. I knew that was going to happen. This is why we practice. Hopefully it's still recording. Yes. X Mike, you're still up? You're good? Okay. Good, Mike. Don't die on me. Alright. Pack number 2. Holy crap, it's already been 16 minutes in. I talk too much and don't open enough. Art card first. Ooh, whoops. We spoiled that one by accident. That's a pretty art card. I like that. Art card can go up here with the tokens. We'll put them underneath the tokens. Alright, we got a Deserter's Due. No, Desert's Due. Desert's Due. Pay 1 in a black, target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn, gets an additional -1/-1 for each desert you control. Yeah, okay. I can get behind that as an instant. Yeah. Wanted Griffin. Flying. When this thing dies, create a 1/1 red mercenary token, which does all the regular red mercenary token stuff. 3/2 for 4? I'm gonna mid you. So far, no bad cards yet, though, which is, knock on wood, good. Stop Cold. Flash. Enchant artifact or creature. Tap the enchanted permanent. Enchanted permanent loses all abilities and doesn't untap. Nice. During its untap step, at least. Because you have Flash, I'll top you. Outlaws Fury again. Not so great to see that. Drover Grizzly. Now, that's a nice one to pull. I only had 1 copy of him, and I'm happy to see that I have a second now. Whenever he attacks while he's saddled, all my creatures gain trample until end of turn, which is pretty cool. He's a 4/2 for 3, and he only costs 1 to saddle, so not bad. He'll go well with this Miriam over here, if I end up building that. Oh, Mirage Mesa. Enters battlefield tapped. As it enters, choose a color. Get to pick tap for 1 of the chosen color. But mostly, I just love the artwork on that. That is a really well done artwork. Kudos to Andrew Marr, because that is awesome. Hollow Marauder. Spectre Rogue. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your graveyard, which costs 7 to put into play, so I mean, for 4/2, thank goodness it has a reducer. Flying. When it enters the battlefield, any number of target opponents each discard a card. For each of those opponents who didn't discard a card with mana value 4 or greater, I get to draw a card. I mean, it's not terrible. I think the issue I'm going to say that I have with it is the fact that it's a specter instead of a spirit. If it was a spirit, then it would fit better with other things, but I don't know how many specters there are in the game, per se. I'm going to mid you as a result of that. Outlaw Stitcher. When it enters a battlefield, create a 2/2 blue and black zombie rogue creature token. Then put 2 +1/+1 counters on that token for each spell you cast this turn, other than your first. That's pretty cool. His plot, so you can play him for free later on. See, now this is one where paying the extra for the plot makes a whole lot of sense. I would do that for this guy, and he's definitely going top. Sandstorm Verge, another desert. We're definitely at least getting a lot of deserts in this set. Add colorless, pay 3, target creature can't block this turn. Ooh, nice. It's kind of like a mini Rogue's Passage. Instead of letting you become unblockable, you just get to pick something that can't block you. Colorless Carnage. Sacrifice any number of permanents you control, then draw that many cards. It's not terrible, not great, though. Pest Control. Destroy all non-land permanents with mana value 1 or less. That's interesting. And it's a um, mythic. It's a mythic pull, which is cool. Cycling 2. I wish it was instant speed, but I'll still put it top for being cool. Back for more. 4 green and black. Return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield when you do. Ooh, not bad. I like the artwork on it. Shoot the sheriff, but don't shoot the deputy. Destroy target non-outlaw creature. Instant speed, sure, why not? Ooh, Lush Oasis. Not hollow, but still. Extra Desert. Enters battlefield tap, deals 1 damage. Green and blue. Puts us up to 4 deserts so far in 2 packs. Not bad. I'm not sure if you're supposed to get 2 lands per pack or not, but if you are, hey. Oops. Hey. Doing good, doing good. See what pack number 3 gives us. Definitely got some sort of token here, and it is a nice spirit, 2/2. I like that one, actually. I might go with my spirit deck at some point. Actually, probably not. I don't think I can make those spirits in my spirit deck. Dance of the Tumbleweeds. Another spree card. Another great one, actually. This one lets you get a desert or a basic land, put it on the battlefield, and create an XX element creature where X is the number of lands you control. Sorcery speed's the only downside to this, but still, pretty freaking great card. Fake Your Own Death. 2, 1 in the black. Telling a turn target creature gets +2/+0 and gains when it dies. Return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. Tapped and create a treasure token. That's a pretty damn good card at instant speed. I'll take that any day. Take the Fall. Another instant. Target creature gets -1/-0 until end turn, or gets -4/-0 if you control an outlaw. And you get to draw a card. It's going to prevent you from taking damage, but I prefer if it takes it off the butt instead of off the power, so I'm going to make that. Take up the Shield. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, gains lifelink and indestructible until end turn. Now that's what I'm talking about. Iron Fist Pulverize. Reach. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, this thing deals 2 damage to target opponent and you scry 1. It's alright. 5, 4, 4, 5. I'm gonna put you there. Harrier Strix. Flying. 1/1 for 1. When it enters the battlefield, tap target permanent. Pay 2 and a blue, draw a card, and discard a card. It's pretty freaking versatile for 1. I like you. You go top. Hippogriff Mount. Cool. 1 green, white, flying lifelink. Whenever this thing attacks while saddled, it gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of mounts you control. And it costs 3 to saddle it. Solid. Lively Dirge. Search your library for a card, put it into your graveyard, then shuffle. 1 black and 1. Or 1 black and 2. Turn up to 2 target creature cards with total mana value of 4 less from your graveyard to the... That is a really good sorcery, actually. I like that. Fleeting Reflection. Target creature you control gains hexproof until end of turn. Untap that creature. Until end of turn, it becomes a copy of up to 1 other target creature. Huh. Weird. Interesting. Bird Rogue. Even Interrupter. Flash flying. When it enters the battlefield, exile target spell, it becomes plotted. Spells your opponents cast from graveyards or from exile cost 2 more to cast. That's interesting. Basically, you play it as like an interrupt to prevent somebody from playing 1 spell, and that spell will get played next turn, and there's not really anything you can do about that per se, but for the turn that you play the bird, you at least stop, say, a counter spell or something. That's pretty neat. Ooh, Worldwaker Helm. Nice, very pretty. If you would create 1 or more artifact tokens, instead create those tokens plus an additional map token. Nice. Pay 1 and a blue, tap this, create a token that's a copy of target artifact. This is going in my artifacts deck for sure. Not the blue one that I always talk about, but the one that I really, really love, which is my red, green, and blue artifacts deck with the guy from Marching Machines. I actually a lot of people really hate on that deck, and to be fair, out of the box it struggles to a certain extent, but with some work, it has become a really cool deck for me to play, and this could definitely make the cut in. Decisive Denial. Blue and green. Choose one. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control, or counter non-creature's spell unless its controller pays 3. Solid instant. And ooh, we pulled her in one of our Dollarama Draws of Destiny packs the other day, but we now have a hollow version. I'm not sure if the version we pulled was a hollow. And we have an extra version for another deck. Very cool, very cool. Whenever a source deals non-combat damage to a creature equal to that creature's toughness, I get to draw a card, and then you can pay X and tap this. If a source would deal non-combat damage to a permanent or a player this turn, deals that much damage plus X instead. So this is just a great way to make sure that you're going to deal enough damage to do the ability to draw the card. I haven't decided whether I want to build that its own deck or just put those into other decks, but still a solid legendary. And just an island. Nothing wrong with that. So yeah, we're guaranteed 1 land. We're not guaranteed 2. So we've been pulling some pretty cool extra lands so far, which is nice. 3 packs in, 3 packs to go. We've got 3 legendaries as well. I'm liking this. This has been a much. I think the Caverns of Ixalan one was a little disappointing, to be honest. We pulled a couple of decent cards in that, but it wasn't anything that was like amazing. This, we're doing decent. We're doing decent. I'm not going to jinx it by saying we're doing amazing or by saying we're doing shitty. We're doing decent. Knock on the wood. Nice little art card. Quick draw. Target creature gains +1/+1 and gets first strike until end of turn. Creatures your opponent's control lose first strike and double strike. Insanely solid instant. Great first pull. Reach for the sky. Said like, let's see if I can do the voice. Reach for the sky. No, I can't. I'm trying to do the Woody voice, but I don't know how the hell Tim Allen's so good at doing voices like that. Flash, enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +3/+2 and has reach. When this thing is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you get to draw a card. That is a really solid aura for 4. I'll take that any day. Consuming Ashes. 2 and 2 black. Exile target creature if it had mana value 3 or less. Surveil 2. Mid. Turtle Rogue. Daring Thunder Thief. Costs 4/4/4/4. It has flash and enters the battlefield tapped. You, my friend, are the first bottom card of the day. Highway Robbery. You may discard a card or sacrifice a land. If you do, draw 2 cards. You can plot this thing instead of, which the plot cost is the same as the regular cost. So basically, if you just want to save it for later, I guess, I'll admit it. We got another Harrier Strix. Beautiful card. Artifact Dog. 3/3/2. When it enters the battlefield, surveil 2. Not bad. Gold Rush. Create a treasure token until end of turn. Up to 1 creature you control. Up to 1 target creature gets +2/+2 for each treasure you control. Shit. That is a good instant. That could go well in my treasures deck. With a Joe Frontier Mentor. 4th legendary of the day. When this thing enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 red mercenary token. And whenever you activate an ability that targets a creature or a player, copy that ability. You may choose new target. Ooh. Ooh, that's pretty spicy. That second ability is nice. Mobile Homestead. Artifact Vehicle. This thing has haste as long as you control a mount. Whenever a mobile homestead attacks, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land, you can put it onto the battlefield tapped. Nice. Brew 2? Hell yes. You go to the top. Ornery Thumblewag. It is a mount, so we're definitely getting enough mounts that we're going to be able to build possibly that Miriam deck. if this keeps up, knock on wood. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Whenever this thing attacks while saddled, double the number of +1/+1 counters on target creature. It's amazing. Ride down. Red and a white. Destroy target blocking creature. Creatures that were blocked by that creature this combat gain trample until end of turn. Huh. I don't know how that works. If you kill the creature, does the trample still carry over? It's almost like you would have to do that after damage is done somehow, which is, I don't know. I'm gonna admit that. I'm confused on how that works. Voracious Varmint. Vigilance. Sacrifice this thing, destroy an artifact or enchantment. Only costs 1 to do that. It's a 2/2 for, yeah, you go there. And a Jagged Barracks. Nice. Another one that deals 1 damage to a person as it comes in. Can't complain about that. We are having a good box pull here. 2 more to go. And then we'll reveal the promo card. Looks like a token this time. It is a elemental. XX elemental. Pretty. Nice. Alright. We got ourselves a Phantom Interference. Again, I mean, it's not a bad one. It's not the most amazing, though. But I think I topped it last time, didn't I? Or did I admit it? Nope, I topped it. So, we'll top it again. Mystical Tether. That one I admitted last time. I remember that. Porcupine Mount. Quilled Charger. Whenever this thing attacks while saddled, it gets +1/+2 and Menace. That's not bad. Saddle 2. So it becomes a 5/5 with Menace. I'm gonna admit you. Bristlepack Sentry. I'm not gonna need a second one, so I'll put that there. Black Snag Buzzard. Enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter if a creature died this turn. Not the best. I'm going to put you there. Ambush Gigapade. Flash. When this thing enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls gets -2/-2 until end of turn. You go there. Unfortunate Accident. Pay black +2 and a black to destroy target creature, or pay black and 1 to create a mercenary. Nurturing Pixie. Flying. When this thing enters the battlefield, return up to one target non-fairy, non-land permanent you control to its owner's hand. If a permanent was returned this way, put a +1/+1 counter on the pixie. Huh. Okay. Bovine Intervention. Destroy target artifact or creatures. Controller gets a 2/2 white ox creature token. I don't normally like giving other people tokens, so I'm going to admit that. Nice! Marchesa, Dealer of Death. I think I have 1 copy of her, but it's nice to have a second one. Whenever you commit a crime, you may pay 1. If you do, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one of them to your hand, the other into your graveyard. It could be a fun deck to build later. So, happy to see her. Plus, Marchesa is actually one of my favorite characters, I think, in Magic. I've got the Queen, I've got the Black Rose so far, now I've got the Dealer of Death, I think, twice. Sandstorm Salvager. 1/1 for 3. That's not a great start. When he enters the battlefield, you get a 3/3 colorless golem. Okay. Pay 2, tap him, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature token you control. And they gain trample until end of turn. That saved it. That definitely saved it. You can go to the top. Nice! We pulled a Reanimate! Cool. Put target creature from your graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. You lose life equals mana value. I never actually owned a Reanimate yet, so I'm actually really happy to get that one. First copy of Reanimate ever. Ooh, another Gold Rush! And a hollow one. So, solid. And a full art Plains. It's our first full art of the day. To be honest, I'd rather not pull the full arts. I'd rather keep pulling these pain lands. They're pretty sick. I wonder if the pain lands are going to be worth any money on Collector. I'll check that afterwards. Last pack. Ripping it open. Coming at you. Ooh, we got a plot token. Nice. And a mercenary on the other side. I did not have a plot token before, so this is nice to add to my collection. Good. Armored Armadillo. Ward 1 gets plus X plus O until end of turn, where X is its toughness. Huh. Okay, so it's a 0/4 right now, and it only costs 1 to put into play. If you pay 3 and a white, you can boost its power by the equivalent of its toughness for the rest of the turn. Which isn't bad. I'll admit that. Hard Bristle Bandit. 1/1 for 2. Tap to add 1 mana of any color. That's always a solid start. Whenever you commit a crime, you can untap this, but it only happens once each turn. You definitely go to the top. Easy on the move. The Puggy is up. He's turning. And boom, back down. Action on the Puggy Cam did not last long. Vault Plunderer. Human Rogue 3/1 for 3. When it enters the battlefield, target player draws a card and loses a life. Meh. Silver Deputy. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for basic land or a desert, reveal it, shuffle, put it on top. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. But you can only do that at sorcery speed. You go there. Trained Arnix. Nice. A second cat beast mount. I can't remember if I put the first one in my cat deck or I ended up pulling that ultimately. But more mounts means more abilities to, or more chances of building the green-white deck. Whenever this thing attacks while saddled, it gains first strike until end of turn, and you scry 1.